Hi, I'm Corinne Dany, and this is Conversation Piece. Hi, Drew.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Very well. You're here at Dirty Jane's, which is a terrific store. Tell me, for people who haven't been to your store before, what kinds of things do you have in it?
Well, I paint in a home studio and then basically create prints from what I do. And I turn them into prints of a couple of different sizes and cards. And then I also get vintage frames. Sometimes I paint them up, sometimes I just restore them, buff them up. And I pop in my prints in those vintage frames as well. And yeah, so that's what we've got on the back wall there. When I feel like painting, I have to get out there and go and do it. And so the work is usually a thought that I've just had, or an idea that I don't want to lose the feeling of. And I also usually have to finish the painting that day, because often going back to it the next day, I just don't have that same energy to put into the artwork, and I kind of abandon it. And then if I come back to it weeks later, it's not in me anymore, it's gone. So yeah, I do tend to try and finish the painting on the day.
So it's like a snapshot.
Of what I'm feeling that day, yeah, kind of. And some days I feel like sculpting, and some days I feel like painting, and some days I feel like drawing, and basically this is just a reflection of me playing for the last 5 years. And so maybe one day I'll start thinking about some serious art.
Oh, I hope not. How long have you been an artist for?
I have photos of me sitting on a couch with plaits in my gym jams with the cat next to me, pen in hand, pencil and paper, just cross-legged, watching TV and drawing since I was 4. So
How does your artwork and the world of vintage mesh together?
oh, I've been looking into all that. The person you're trying to sell to is probably you. It's probably someone like you. And so I went, okay, well, what do I do? What do I like? And I looked around my home, and I have vintage stuff all over the place. And I am a vintage girl. So I've been thinking a lot about what I really love about this place and about my home and about my life, and the vintage subject matter as such, retro, rockabilly. I used to date a rockabilly person, and but yeah, and mum and dad they're French, and they've got a beautiful home, and dad loves decorating, and so I've always had this all around me. So I just want to narrow in a little bit more on the vintage style as such, and infuse the rustic sort of patinas and chippy wood and the fun colours and the French joie de vivre, just a little bit of all of that put into it, and intentionally.
Jane Loves Vintage, which is a book that you have illustrated beautifully. It tells the story of a young girl called Jane who loves vintage. I mean, it's kind of in the title, but she goes into a store and she finds a whole bunch of things. What were some of the inspirations when you were making that book? How did that come together for you?
So basically, Jane would give me little briefs on, the kind of ideas she had in the back of her mind for the certain page. And there were certain things she definitely wanted. ABBA record and the player. But yeah, I was able to then go and have a look at what I wanted to put in to translate that. In the page where Jane knows all the things she owns belong to someone else, she loves that all their dreams have not grown dusty on the shelf. On that shelf, we have a little horse and soldier pool toy that I have under my fireplace, just around the fireplace. We've got a Pinocchio puppet that was in my dad's library, and lots of books, and the globe. I grew up with globes all around me.
So So who is this?
So this is Mary Antoinette. She's sort of the main figure in the series of sculptures of an exhibition called the Royals. So it's paper clay sculpting. There's a bit of a wire, foil, and then I create a mixture in a cooking bowl of flour, joint compound, which is used for plastering, and glue, and then mix it all around, and then it becomes like this cake icing. And I just put that all around her, let it dry, and then I give it a lovely little paint job.
And what about the dress? So you didn't have a pattern, and you just sort of, this is a classic style, but not easy. I mean, obviously, Marie Antoinette, the inspiration, that she had the best people in all of the world.
Well, so did I. I had my mum. And I'd say that so much of the work is just, let's just have fun. Like, there's enough crap around in the world and running around in my head that I don't need my art to be angsty or full of, cerebral thoughts. I just paint to feel, and then I think I've heard a lot of people say it ends up just being that they feel that feeling as well. That's why they buy the piece. So from heart to heart, that's what I'm trying to do, I think.